Namaskar. I Shambhavi welcome you all to your channel Galactic Echoes. So let's start exploring the wisdom of Vedic astrology. Today we'll be doing the ninth episode of What is the Rising in your Navamsa chart series, and today we'll be discussing about the Sagittarius Rising in your Navamsa. So how being a Sagittarius ascendant affects your married life, and it lays a basic foundation in your married life. We'll try to figure it out today. So let's start the video and let's dive in. Now, because Sagittarius sign is related to exploration, adventures, it is Mool Trikon sign of Jupiter. So it is in a constant search of something new, right? These qualities will be reflected in you in your personality after married life. So maybe you were doing some kind of a mundane job before marriage, and now you are into a more creative and unstable profession. You wanted to explore it. That will be the basic. It will form a basic core in your personality. So this could also mean that you take up your hobbies from the past as your profession after your Navamsha getting activates, like maybe after the age of 36 years, because that's when Navamsha gets activated normally. Or if you get married early in your life, let's say at the 25 or 24 or 26 years of your age, then also Navamsha will be activated. So you might see this sort of a sudden transformation in your professional life, because you would always want to explore something new. Search for newness will be there. So you cannot do that basic mundane job with this Sagittarius rising in your Navamsha. I have never seen any Sagittarius rising doing any desk job following some kind of a regular timetable. That is never seen. And this Sagittarius rising in Navamsha, it also makes yourself stern on a certain belief or a religious practice or a certain mindset also. Maybe you are a right winger and you are more conservative and you vote the conservative parties in your country, or you are a left winger and you support that ideology and you are more of a liberal person and you think that there should be an assimilation of everyone in the society, and you vote that kind of left wing parties in your country. So that can also be seen with this, like you are stern on what your ideology is or what your belief is. That will be a major theme in your case. Now, because of the Sagittarius rising, it is a dual natured sign, and this constant search about exploration and something new, it also gives tendencies for adultery and extramarital affairs. You would want to engage with other people. You would want to engage with certain people outside your marriage. That is a prominent drawback of this rising, of the Sagittarius rising in Navamsha. All the dual natured signs in the rising in Navamsha, they depict this thing at certain point, basically Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. But in the Sagittarius rising, this quality is more enhanced, because you are in a constant search of exploration. You are in a constant search of something new, which adds fuel to this fire. Now, because if you look at the sign of the Sagittarius, it is a mutated figure. It is half human and half horse. All the dual signs, they are depicted by some certain kind of a duality. So what does it show is that this mutation gives you two kinds of personality. Like, see, in the Gemini sign, it is about two similar kind of figures who are holding each other's hands, right? But they are, one is female and one is male, so that represents sensuality and duality in sensuality, right? In the Pisces, there are two fishes which are biting each other's tails. So it is more about the completion of something. You are, duality in nature is towards that completion of something. That is the last sign of the zodiac belt. The Virgo is more of a it is a virgin which is holding herbs in her hands. So that represents the duality, because she is on the verge of getting into the womanhood, right? Either she should get into it or not. That is a kind of duality. That is basically materialism versus spiritualism. But here in the Sagittarius rising, it is two different uh, beings. They are mutated into each other. into each other. There is no separation of any kind, right? It is half human and half horse, that figure is. So what is it really shows is that these people, they live two lives. Sagittarius risings in the Navamsha, they are a kind of a, they are a good spouse, and maybe if they are men, they are good husbands and they are good fathers at their home, and they spend weekends with their family. They are the best people on the earth from the POV of their family. But they have another life where they are a childlike figure, they are passionate and they are creative, and they have that immense fire inside them. They have this innate quality of chasing their goal, and they are passionate lovers also. So that is the duality you'll see in these people, and no one will even get to know this, because this duality inside is inside them. People who are on this front will think that they are the most responsible person, and they are the best husbands and best fathers in the world, or if it is female, so best mothers and best wives. But on the other hand, they have this kind of a personality of being passionate, of being, creative, of being a passionate lover sort of a thing. So these people who know them as this kind of a personality will think that they are only this, because they don't know the intermingling of both the energies which is happening inside them. So that can only be seen by an astrologer, but yes, it is a crucial piece of information. That is why I've imparted it to all of you. So that is really a very prominent trait in all the Sagittarius risings in Navamsha. Now there will be a very prominent trait if this is a male chart, fortune grows in their case, and if there is a female chart with the Sagittarius rising, profession will get to heights in your case with the Sagittarius rising in your Navamsha, because the Jupiterian energy is connected to your prosperity, your husband for women, and Jupiter is for men. They are themselves, they are Jeev Karaka, right? Jupiter is the Jeev Karaka for the males, and Venus is the Jeev Karaka for the females. But although we take Jupiter as Jeev Karaka for females also, but that is the basic distinction we do. So basically, Jupiter as a Jeev Karaka and ruling your chart with its Mool Trikon sign, being a male, will give abundance of fortune in your life post marriage. Now, for this, you have to check the Jupiter's placement in your birth chart and in your Navamsha chart also, because if this Jupiter is retrograde, and if this Jupiter is combust, or if this Jupiter is in conjunction with Rahu, that will really alter the path, not the outcome. This is something you have to understand, that fortune is promised in your chart in the Navamsha, right? Now it will depend on the placement of the Jupiter, and upon its condition, how will you be able to achieve that. Maybe if you are watching this video and you will be thinking that it's all wrong, this is not so, because maybe your Jupiter is retrograde, or maybe your Jupiter is combust. Maybe you are not on the correct path right now, but you will be someday, and you will definitely achieve it. So this is a major thing which we can see through this Sagittarius rising in Navamsha. You people, you take more risks after your marriage. Like, as I've already said, taking your hobby as your profession is a risk. You leaving your stable profession, your regular income, and you getting into some kind of an unstable setting, that is a risk. But your risk taking capacity, it increases after marriage. Now if this is a Vargottam rising, basically if you are a Sagittarius rising in Navamsha as well, and you are a Sagittarius rising in your birth chart as well, so it will really bestow you with a long life, with a blessed life, with a fortunate life, and all these things will be bestowed to you by Lord Shiva, because Shiva is the deity which rules all the dual nature sign. But from the marriage perspective, if you are a Vargottam Lagna, Sagittarius in the birth chart and Sagittarius in the Navamsha also, it will disturb your marriage life. How? Because Navamsha is the double entity chart, right? Birth chart is your single chart. Navamsha is the intermingling of your energy with your spouse. So yes, it will create certain challenges in your married life. Why? Because you are not changing with coming in of a person in your life who you will eat with, sleep with, regularly live with. So we have to change according to people coming in and going out, right? Maybe we are night owls. We have this habit of waking up at night, but we have to take dinner at whatever time is suited to the whole family. We have to adjust ourselves to that. We have to take dinner according to the whole family's time. So that is the adjustment we are doing, right? That is the kind of adjustment we are doing according to our family, because we are living with them. And with you as a same rising in your Navamsa and your birth chart, it suggests that you are not changing. You are stubborn on your beliefs, you are stubborn on your belief system and the way of your working, your habits. And this can then pose challenges in your life, because partner will demand that, I am adjusting according to you, but you are not. So that is, can become a bone of contention in your life. Now, because your rising is a fire element rising, right? Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries are the trine signs, and they are all the fire element signs. So these signs and all the planets placed in it in the Navamsa chart are governed by the themes of Satyug. Now, what is this theme of Satyug? The theme of Satyug is that there are four dharma in Vedic astrology basically. These are Vishwadharma, which is duty towards your mother earth, this planet earth, right? Environmentalism and all these things. Rashtradharma, which is duty towards your nation, towards your country, in whatever country you live. Samaj Dharma, which is duty towards your society, towards your relatives, towards the people you intermingle with on a daily basis. That is your society, that is the core structure of your society. And Swadharma, which is duty towards yourself and towards your family. So, all these fire element signs, these are governed by the elements of Satyug, and you will be empowered by these signs and the planets placed in these signs to follow all the four dharma. So this really shows abundance of prosperity in your home with this rising, because you are there, you are following your Swadharm. Basically, you are working for your family and you are getting it back. Whatever I earn, I have to give it to the people, to my family, to myself, and my loved ones. Then you are moving a step ahead and you are thinking about your samaj, your society, the people you work with, the communities you engage in, your work community, your friends, informal community, your friends group, and your religious community, your ethnic community. You will think about them as well. You will also think about your country, your nation. You will follow the Rashtra Dharma as well. This thing will really affect you: which president is elected in my country, which prime minister is elected in my country, which party is winning what elections. This will really affect you. What is the what is the demographics of my country, how my country is changing, and what are the laws, what are the budgets, what is the economic rise or fall in my country. That things will really affect you. So basically what it shows is that you are prosperous and you are tension free from the side of financial incoming gains. That is why you are thinking about these things, about your country, right? You have that level of patriotism, you have that level of patriotism, and you work for it. So this is what it represents. And then on top of that, you move again one step ahead of this and you think about the environment. You think about your mother earth, this planet earth. See, the planet earth is at the last step. People never think about it. They litter everywhere they go. They throw plastics on the roads, in the jungles, when they are on the highway. They cut the plants. They don't water their plants which are outside their home, because they are outside of their home. They would litter the place outside their home. They would litter the road outside their home. They would not work towards the environment. They would think this is all useless things. They would not work for the stray animals, stray dogs or stray cats. But you are not that sort of a personality. You would think about all of this. You will work for the environment. Maybe you are the person who have this sort of a rule: on every birthday your family member plants a tree. That is contributing back to the environment, contributing back to the mother earth, which is important, and you are doing it. That is a very good thing. So basically what it shows is that you are being prosperous and you are having that abundance of blessings in your life. That is why you are able to do that, right? Because if a person is engulfed in the tensions of his personal life, how will he or she think about all these things? So this really is a very good thing and a very prosperous rising, I must say, from the perspective of abundance and prosperity. Now, benefic energy of Jupiter rules your chart through its Mool Trikona sign. So basically what it shows is that either you will have zero challenges in your life, or some challenges in your life because of your extramarital affairs. That is the only thing which can give you challenges in your life, in your married life, I must say. Because other than that, there is nothing I can see with this basic chart prediction, right? Now it will really depend on the planets which wherever they are positive. If your seventh lord, basically Mercury, is debilitated in the sign of Pisces in the fourth house, then yes, it will create challenges in your married life as well. So maybe your spouse also has some kind of flaws. That is why you are doing these things. But that depends on the whole chart. But basically, from the basic point of view, what am I seeing is that apart from that reason, there is nothing which can give you negative consequences in your life post marriage. Ascendant lord, meaning your Jupiter, placed in the trikona houses, first, fifth, ninth, or in the Kendra houses, first, fourth, seventh, or 10th, can amplify the results. Now what kind of results it will be, that will definitely depend on the position of Jupiter in the birth chart, in the Navamsa chart, and of your ascendant lord in the birth chart. So whatever rising you are in the birth chart, that placement of that planet, what kind of results they will be, either bad or good. And this Jupiter in the Kendra or in the Trikona will amplify the results according to that. Now all characteristics of Sagittarius will be present in your marriage, because your first house is the seventh house of your partner, because partner is directly seen from the seventh house of your Navamsha, right? So wisdom and ideology, pride, and religion will be the basic theme of your marriage. Maybe you are getting into a marriage which is strengthening your religion, your belief system, your ideology, or it is weakening it. Either of the way, there will be the relevance of the sign of Sagittarius and the themes related to it. So basically, maybe you are getting married to a wisdom oriented and wisdomful person, and you are getting married to a professor, or any sort of the relevance will be there in your marriage. So basically your marriage will be standing upon the characteristics of the Jupiter. Now with this Jupiter rising in Navamsha chart, your family will be very much organized and structurized and mature. So you will see that your speech is more mature, you are more reserved, and you speak to the point after marriage. Your family is more organized, they are respecting your boundaries, and they are more mature, and they are acting more mature with your marriage taking place. Your younger siblings will be very much unconventional sort of people. They might be doing some unconventional businesses, or they might also be in some kind of a investment business, a group oriented investment business. They might also own certain companies or that sort of a thing. Maybe they have started a startup. They will think out of the box. Basically, they can get married to a foreigner also. That can also be seen. So these all qualities will be there present in your they will be developed in your younger siblings after your marriage. Your home will be very much divine and pious sort of a setting. After it will become into this thing after your marriage, you will think that it is maybe you set up your home in a foreign land, or at a distance from your original home where you were born, or whatever your birthplace is. That can also be seen. Homely comfort is very spiritual sort of a thing. You would want to spiritually connect to different kind of religions. You will connect, actually, coming from foreign backgrounds. Your children will be very much goal oriented. They will be very much passionate about something, whatever thing that they do. Maybe they are in technology, in creativity, or in whatever thing. Maybe they play a certain game, a certain sports. They are very much hustly bustly sort of personality. Children who are running all over the places in the home, they will be that kind of kids. And your daily routines will be very much materialistic. You would want to eat well. You would want to really you would want to eat well in all the three meals of the day, like basically breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You would want something good to be prepared. And your daily routines will be very much Venusian. They'll be very much feminine in nature. They'll be very much comfort seeking. You would want, okay, I'll do that. Yes, let's rest first. That kind of a thing. But that doesn't mean procrastination. You would you would have that splurge of creativity throughout the day. Basically, maybe you are reading news or you are scrolling Instagram, but you would in either way connect to Venus, basically creativity in some sort of a thing. Maybe you are doing painting, and you are you have the specific time slot for your hobby. And your spouse will be very much immature in nature. They'll be full of curiosity. They'll be more, child. They will have a childish face. They can have a childish behavior also sometimes. But it really depends on the placement of Mercury. If Mercury is debilitated in the fourth house of your Navamsa chart, then these qualities will be enhanced. These immaturity and imbalance of Mercury will be enhanced, I must say. Like they will want to go to, certain places, maybe like trekking or paragliding at the advanced age of 50 or 60 years. That might not suit them well. So they will be that kind of a personality, hustly, bustly, and having a good group of friends, and their group of friends will be very much, they too will be very much into these kind of things, like having a good conversation, meeting up every now and then, maybe every week, that sort of a thing. Your spouse will be that sort of a personality. Your spouse will be having. Your in-laws, they'll be very much caring, nurturing, nourishing. They can be into some kind of a business related to transport, or they can live near a water body, lake, river, or ocean, or sea, whatever it is. It's basically coastal cities. They can, your in-laws can form core in your personality, because your Lagnesh will get exalted here. Your in-laws can go through certain ups and downs and challenges and transformation in their lives. That can also be a prominent trait and characteristic in them. Also, the home of your in-laws would be very much calm, peaceful, or serene, or they can be at a certain kind of a place which is very serene and picturesque in nature. That sort of things you will see in your in-laws. Your higher beliefs will be very much pride stricken. You will tell everyone with pride that I belong to such and such ideology, or such and such religion, or such and such I have been uh, the disciple of such and such guru or mentor. So basically, your gurus will be famous either way, or your father will be a famous personality. You will have pride in your father, that my father had this and he did that thing, and you will proudly tell everyone about him. So this can also happen with your mentors and gurus also, or your religion also, or your ideology also. Such people, if you are a Hindu, you can also bear a tilak at your forehead, basically. So these all things will be seen. Profession will be very much uh, that kind of a thing which is involving some over criticizing and over analyzing of something. Now it can also indicate an accountancy, keenly going through those balance sheet. But the Mercurian traits, the mature Mercurian traits will be present in your profession. So basically it can also show that you use certain level of technology in your profession, because Mercury is also the karaka of technology. Although the presence of Rahu is very needed, it is very much important to check. But yes, Mercury shows technology in some or the other way. And you will be in a regular habit of doing something. Like you cannot stop your work once you start it. That will be the USP of your work. Now if you start the work, you have to end it within a limited time. You have to give consistent efforts to it. That will be the major theme with your profession. Like if let's say you are a supplier of something, you are a stockist or something, so you supply your stock to some shop one day, and then you rest, and then you are going after 2 or 3 days, and then you are asking them, do you need any stock, or do you have ample amount of stock? This is not the case. If you start doing it, so at some point you have to end it in a certain limited time. That will be the core of, that will be forming the core of your profession. So there are so many professions connected to these traits. Like you can be an investigator. If they start a case, they have to end it within a limited time. You can also be working in a court as a lawyer or as a judge. That depends. So that the time duration and time foundation will be always present in your profession. So your incoming gains and your elder siblings will be very much balanced one. Like you won't get anything unexpected out of something. The more you do your work diligently, the more you do hard work, the more money you will get, the more incoming gains you will get. So they'll be very much balanced. And you can get huge profits. You can make, actually I must say, huge profits from creative ventures. and creatively analyzing something. Basically, you must have seen those uh, film critics on YouTube. This is the exact placement they can have. Like if their Saturn is placed in the 11th house of their Navamsha, it really is that placement for that kind of a profession. So creativity can really bring good, huge profits in your life, and your incoming gains will be very much balanced. So it won't be any sort of huge bonuses. You can earn huge, I am not denying that, but it will be expected every time. It Nothing will be unexpected in your incoming gains. And your spirituality, your connection to foreign lands, your bedroom setting, your private rooms will be very much hidden. You won't share it with people easily. Like I've seen Sagittarius rising people in Navamsha, that they don't share the problems of their 12th house, basically their private rooms, to even astrologers or psychologists easily. They would want to hide it. I don't know why. Because of the fact that, yes, Scorpio sign is there, and it is the sign of that, hiddenness and secretiveness. So, yes, there will be that kind of a thing with all the Sagittarius rising in their Navamsha. But what you will see is that a constant kind of a transformation in your life, in your private life, your relationship with your spouse in a private setting, where not even your children are involved. That thing will be constantly in a motion, will be in a constant transformation mode, right? So that is something which you can see. Also, your foreign trips will be very much sudden, that you never knew that you will be going to visit France next week, but somehow things get planned and you go on that trip. So that is also the thing which you can see with the Sagittarius rising. Now, the important thing and the interesting fact which I must tell you all is that if you are a Sagittarius rising in your Navamsha chart, you cannot be any earth element rising in your birth chart. So basically, if you are Sagittarius rising in Navamsha, you cannot be Taurus rising, you cannot be Virgo rising, and you cannot be a Capricorn rising in your birth chart. And why am I telling this? This is important because you have to study the transition of the element. So if you are getting from fire to fire, that is important. What kind of fire you were before and what kind of fire you are becoming. And if you are transitioning from water to fire, that is important. That sets a different tone. If you are transitioning from air to fire, that sets a different tone. So this transition is important to study. Why? Because it lays a basic foundation of the scenarios of your married life. Like basically, let's say if you were a Scorpio rising in your birth chart, right, and now you have transitioned into the fire of Sagittarius, you know so what does it show is that you were more secretive, you were more into research analysis, and deeply thinking. You were into these kind of things. You were more reserved, you were more secretive, you were more transformative. You really transform and you evolved with each passing day. Before marriage, these all things were prominent, but now you have transitioned from water into the fire of Sagittarius. So now you are more filled with passion, courage, and that fire of advancement towards your goal. But you are dual in your nature because Scorpio is a fixed sign. If you are a Scorpio rising in your birth chart, it is a fixed sign, right? And Sagittarius is a dual nature sign. So what is it showing is that you were more stern on your beliefs, stern of things you should keep secret, stern on things you should not tell to people, stern on the beliefs about sensuality, stern on the beliefs about occult mysticism, research, and whatever you were doing basically. But now you are more dual nature. Now you are more into exploration and implementing them actually. As I've told in the earlier section of this video, that Sagittarius is all about exploration and adventure. So now you want to do that adventure. So this is some important thing which you should always check. Another important thing is that if you are not a Vargottam Lagna, basically if you are Sagittarius rising in your Navamsha chart, but you are any other rising in your birth chart, so it means that you are not a Vargottam Lagna, right? So it becomes very important for you to check where this Sagittarius sign is falling, in which house, because that house, the themes of that house and its relevance will be shown in your married life, and the themes will be activating actually your marriage and your D9 also. So let's say if you are a Scorpio rising in your birth chart, so your Sagittarius sign is falling in the second house. Now, the second house themes will be the karak of your activation of the D9. So basically, your family introduce you to your spouse, or you meet your spouse through speaking somewhere, through revealing your face, or having a video conferencing with them. You connecting to them, through video conferencing. That sort of a thing will be present in your marriage, so that will be activating your D9 actually. And the second thing is, the second house themes will really be enhanced in your married life, like basically family, fortune, hoarded wealth, and fixed assets. All these things will be basic core of your life after this Navamsa getting activated. So you will be surrounded by these kind of circumstances. Now, if you want to check which house is what kind, it gives what kind of relevance, you should definitely check my D1 Rising playlist. I have attached the link in the description, because then you will get to know which house is giving what kind of relevance to you and what kind of indications to you according to your birth chart rising. So this was my understanding about Sagittarius rising in your Navamsa chart. Do not forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family. And if you want to regularly watch such quality content and astrology, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.